All right. And once our basic server is running with our awesome welcome text, now let's set up some middlewares that we'll use throughout the project. And I'm talking about the NotFoundMiddleware and our middleware. I'm going to start with NotFound. So essentially, if I'm getting some kind of request for a resource that doesn't exist, for example, /hello, at the moment I'm getting the default express not found response. But I want to change that around and set up a custom one where we can decide whatever we want to send back. And the steps are going to be following where in the root, so in the same place where we have the server, so please don't set this one up in a client. We want to go with middleware folder, and then in there we'll create a NotFoundJS. And inside of the file, we'll set up a function, and we'll just go with some kind of 404 response. In my case, I'm going to go with route does not exist. So res.status 404 and then .send, and then I'll pass in the text. I want to import that in the server.js, meaning the file. But since we're using modules, the ES6 modules, in Nodeland, we need to remember that we need to use .js extension for the files. So we didn't have to do that when we were using common JS setup. But if you do use ES6 modules, yes, you'll have to do that. And then I want to place that after the home route, because basically I want to catch all the requests that do not match any of our current routes. So think of this as a fallback. So let's start working on that. And probably the toughest one for me will be spelling middleware, because that's usually where I make a bunch of bugs. So middleware, hopefully that is correct. And then I'm going to go with not-found.js, and let's set up that function. I'm going to go with NotFoundMiddleware, and you'll see in a second why. Basically, it's because in the server.js, I like those explicit names because that tells me exactly what is happening. Again, that is just my preference. You don't have to do that. So let me go back here in NotFound, and I'm going to go with NotFound and then middleware. And as a side note, we'll use the auto import for this case. So I'm going to go with rec and res, since this is going to have access to it. It's going to be our middleware. And then let's just go with the res.status. Status will be 404, so that doesn't change. But as far as the message, let's just say send. And I believe I went with the route does not exist. Let's save it. And then what I want to do is to set up export default. Export default, and then I'm looking for not found middleware. Let's save it, and then back in the server, here's what I want to do. I want to go above the get route, and then I'm looking for the comment here, so I'll say middleware. And then let's just look for our not found one. And like I said, we can use the auto import. So we go here. Just keep in mind one thing, where you will have to add that JS. So for now, I'm not going to add it, just to showcase what happens. And I'm going to place my app.use. So I'm using the middleware. And essentially, when I use app.use, this just signals that I'm looking for all the HTTP methods. So whether that is a get one, post one, patch one, or whatever. And the same goes for the routes. Whether that is a home route, /hello, or whatever. And that's why I place it after that. So express first is trying to match the request to all the routes that I have, meaning currently I only have one. And then if none of them match, then we go here with app.use and we serve our not found middleware. So let me save it. And like I just said, we're going to have a big fat error. Why? Well, because we have cannot find the module. Did you mean import and then notice this little JS? So therefore, I'm going to go here with .js. Let's move it down here. And then also what I do is basically take this name and then place it over here. Now, again, you don't have to do that. It just saves a little bit of typing because in this case, I typed it twice. Now, in my opinion, it's not a big deal, but I know that some people like to save time on that. And with this in place, now I can go here and refresh. And what do you know? Now I have a route does not exist. So I can clearly see that our not found middleware is working.